Bezat Hashem. We have time for that. Okay, so shalom. Welcome to this class. Welcome the new people and the old people and the new people and always new. Bezat Hashem. Just a quick joke I heard, a funny joke, but it's an Israeli joke, so hopefully you get it. When women give birth here, they have a place to recuperate. It's called Beit Hachlama. Beit Hachlama, okay? Which means the house of Hachlama means to heal, to get back. So the joke is that after the wife gives birth, she says to her husband, you know, betach, for sure I'm going. And he says, lama, why? I don't have money. She says, no, betach, lama, betach, lama, betach, lama. So the name betach, lama comes from the argument of she's saying, yeah, I'm going. And he's saying, why? I have no money. No, I said I'm going. It's an Israeli joke. Okay. All right. So we're continuing with this amazing letter 31. And just if you haven't yet heard any of the classes, what we're doing is we're going through letters that Reb Noson wrote to his son and to other people at the time that he was learning and working on a lesson from Rebbe Nachman's Likutey Moharan. Rebbe Nachman has a book called Likutey Moharan with tons of lessons. The lesson we are focusing on is lesson 24, where the main theme is simcha, joy. How joy is the key for everything else in the world, especially now the Geula. Now that the world is upside down since October 7th, and all types of rabbis are saying we have to do this, we have to do that, and all these gzerot. Rebbe Nachman's advice, work on simcha. Simcha is the key to get out of exile. Ki besimcha tetzeu, through joy you get out. Okay, get out of what? Get out of number one, exile, but also get out of whatever you're stuck in life. Person stuck in shidduchim, stuck in health issues, stuck in moral issues, sad issues, addiction issues, any issues, and all things that they're stuck in life. Rebbe Nachman's advice, work on being happy, because the happiness will draw positive energy to give you an opening that wasn't even there before. It creates an opening. That's how powerful it is. It's not like, oh, you're just happy, because they're lightheaded and they have nothing else to do, and they're trying to put a patch on the pain. No. He's saying putting the patch on the pain is to create an opening for a solution. It goes so far. He says it goes so far that it leads to an opening of what's called the infinite light. In Kabbalah, the Or Ein Sof is the highest possible access of anything in relation to Hashem. It's called the infinite light, and the light of the infinite light is what we're trying to tap into. And he teaches in this lesson that simcha, even if it's by telling jokes, even if it's fake, even if it starts by just dancing and clapping your hands and singing in nigun, and even if it's finding your good points and looking optimistic, and you're not really happy, but you're working on building happiness, it goes so far. It's such a good investment that it'll lead to Bezat Hashem access to the infinite light, which means on a practical level, openings in life. Whenever you're stuck, in 1987 I was stuck like this, and the simcha opened it up. In 1994 I had another issue, boom, the simcha opened it up. 2007, 2008, whatever in life, if you work on being simcha, you look backwards, you see, wow, that was amazing. I thought positively, I tried to hold on, and Hashem sent me this phone call, or this happened, or this email, or something just changed, and it was an opening for life. It's an amazing musar, it's an amazing chizuk, that if you invest in simcha, you can get out. It's all in one pasuk. This pasuk from, I think it's Yeshayahu, ki besimcha tetzeu. With joy, you get out. Whenever you're stuck, work on happiness. Even if it's fake, it opens up the door. We told the story, and I'll say it again because the story is so amazing. You know the story already. Of Rav Zusha and of Rav Elimelech, his brother. They were traveling incognito, undercover, for whatever reasons they had, and they came to a little shtetl, a village, that there was a curfew at 9 p.m. and it was a summer night, summer evening. They arrived 8:45 before the curfew, 9 p.m., right? So they had no time to organize accommodations, where they're going to sleep, where they're going to eat. So the police saw them at 9 and the police arrested them, even though they were innocent. But that was the law in this little village, that anyone on the street at 9 is put into jail for the safety of the village. If there's murderers, burglars, whatever, robbers. So they were put in the jail cell, and the jail cell was filled with Jews and goyim, and there was mattresses all around the cell, and in the middle was the bathroom to relieve themselves. So that means they couldn't daven, they couldn't learn nothing because it was a stench. So Rebbe Melech was really sad because he wanted to daven Arvit, he wanted to say Kriyat Shema and Mariv, and he couldn't. So Rav Zusha was always the happy brother. He said to his brother Rebbe Melech, why are you so sad? So he said, listen, I can't daven. Gehinam is even better. At least in Gehinam I can cry out to Hashem. Here I can't even cry out. So Rav Zusha said, my brother, my super duper tzaddik brother who's never missed a Mariv in his life, you don't think maybe Hashem put you in this scenario so that you should dafka do the halacha like this? What does halacha say? That when you're such a scenario that you can't daven, you can't pray. So the halacha says, because of a bathroom, it's called graf shel re'i in Hebrew. Halacha says that you say in your heart, Hashem, Ribono Shel Olam, I want to do your will, but I can't because of the situation. So Yiratzon Hashem, it should be considered as if I did the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema and Shemon Esrei, and halacha says you're given reward as if. It's the famous Ki'ilu, as if. So Rav Zusha said to his brother Rav Zusha, Rav Melech, you never missed a Mariv, okay? Now Hashem wants you to do Mariv like this. Did you think about that? He said, you're right, you're right. And he got him excited. They started dancing, like a Hasidic tzaddik, and they started dancing. And all the goyim and the Jews in the cell, they're looking at these two brothers dancing. They say they're looking at them, they grab everybody's hands, and they make a hora around the toilet. Okay, they're all dancing, and then the warden hears everyone singing. This guy, he's singing, he's drunk, he's singing about his vodka, this one's singing about his wife, this one's singing about his money, this one, they're all singing for different reasons, except for Rav Zusha I'm really happy. So they're all dancing, and the warden comes in, he says, what is this? Because, he's supposed to be Tisha B'Av in the jail. No one's happy in jail. Tisha B'Av. So what is this? So he said, because of the toilet. He said, oh really? He opened the cell, he took out the toilet. 5 minutes passed, the smell went. There's windows, obviously. Rav Zusha says to Rebbe Melech, now you can daven. Okay, so what was the idea? The solution came about through joy. Who in the world would think that the warden would come and take out the toilet? But it happened. How? Because they did the right thing, which is to be b'simcha, and Hashem organized it on His own how to solve it. Okay, it's a big theme, especially by Rebbe Nachman's teachings, is work on being happy, work on being b'simcha, even when it's difficult. It's true, I admit, it's easier said than done. But if you invest a lot in always trying to be happy and cracking jokes and here I have another joke. Okay, it's good. It's very important to be in joke mood. So there was one brick-headed person. I don't know how to call him, but in Israel they call him Kurdi. An Ahabal, a Nufi, a Polak. I don't want to be racist jokes. Okay, there's someone who's an airheaded. He put by his bed every night 2 cups. 1 cup full of water, 1 cup empty of water. They asked him why 2 cups. He says, well, if I get thirsty in the middle of the night, I have the cup that's full. And if I'm not thirsty, so I have the cup that's empty. Okay, stupid jokes, even though they're stupid, but they make you crack up, it's worth it. Okay, it's worth. He says, remember, it's so important. The way people are so down today and so negative, the only way to get people happy today is through mila deshtuta, which means telling jokes. Yes, be in a happy mood, joke. Don't be happy. Don't be serious like everybody else. Everybody else in the world is already Tisha B'Av. We go on the bus, everyone is like frowning. You go to the mall, everyone is frowning. You go to Gihul, everyone is frowning. And no one's happy. So I have to make sure I can't fall in that trap. I have to make sure I'm happy because this is my key for my salvation. And the reason why we're still in Galut is because people are not happy. All the suffering and the pogroms and persecutions is in order to make people down. Like we said in the last class, the Nazis in the Holocaust, it wasn't enough just to kill the Jews, but to degrade them and to make them feel bad about themselves. That was the main thing. The main thing is to make them feel bad. These Hamasnikim also, that they kill parents and children in front of each other. What are they looking to? To make them feel bad. It's not enough to kill them. We want you to feel bad and down and depressed, and then kill you. Chas v'shalom. The idea is that depression is their keep forgetting us. And if we maintain being happy, then the goyim, the enemies, the Yetzer Hara got nowhere. If you can be strong and stand on your feet every time you get smashed by the Yetzer Hara, by negative thoughts, and you're able to get back up. We have a joke in Breslov that we drink 7-Up. 7-Up is like the verse, Sheva yipol tzadik v'kam. 7, it's a verse from Mishlei. The tzaddik falls 7 times and he gets up. 7-Up, 7-Up. You keep on getting up. It's so important to get back up, okay? So Reb Noson, we're in the middle of this letter, and Reb Noson, he's working on this lesson 24. This is the year 1830. Okay, we're in the second letter already. We started it already 2 classes already, 2 weeks we've been on this letter. And Reb Noson is trying to calm down his son from fear of being drafted into the Russian army. And he says, you have unfounded fears, because he was already over the draft age. Rav Yitzchak, Reb Noson's son, Rav Yitzchak, who lived in a village called Tulchin. Tulchin is about an hour and a half south of a village called Breslov. There's a village, Breslov, Tulchin, and there's Uman also, of course. But these two villages were about, by drive, today it's like an hour drive each apart. Back then, by buggy and horse wagon, that was about maybe 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, half a day. It's a big chunk of the day to go from these villages by horse. Okay, so Reb Noson is telling us, Rav Yitzchak, you have nothing to be afraid, and you're making yourself afraid for nothing. Chaval. And now it's eating away at you. You can't daven, you can't learn, you can't function because this word, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. He says that's not the way to live. And it's an unfounded, it's like a suffix of a suffix, a doubt of a doubt that they're going to take you. They're not going to take you. There's nothing to be afraid about. And I'm shocked that you're like that. But on the other hand, when you wrote to me, because this is the time of letters, no email, no telephone, right? This is emails, letters, 1830. He said, nonetheless, I saw that when you wrote to me about your fear about the decrees of that they're going to probably, try to take you to the army, yet you told me that you're strengthening yourself with good points. And that's what I was looking for. So we're going to read a few lines of what we read last week, and in that we'll continue to the new section, okay? So I'm going to go pretty fast, just on the beginning part, because we did it last week's class. I'm going to get to the point that we're holding today, B'ezrat Hashem. So he says like this, Reb Noson, like we just said. This is the in English, I don't know if you have it in English, Vihine B'tchila, okay? So if you have it online, you can see it, but you don't have to see the link, whatever. Okay, whoever sees it can see it, whoever not, I'll read and translate. והנה בתחילה, היה לי צער גדול ממכתבך מיום ג' שהארכת בצערך. Behold, at first, I had a lot of pain from your letter that you wrote on Tuesday last week, that you were very extensive in your suffering and what you're going through and your worry of the being drafted. אך מצאתי גם שם את שאהבה נפשי, but nonetheless, after everything that you're crying about, I found that which, he's quoting from Shir Hashirim, Shava nafshi, that which my soul loves, which is what? Shehem hanekudot tovot shelcha, שאתה מחיה עצמך בדרכי אדוננו מורנו ורבנו ז"ל, במעט התבודדות וצעקה. Which is what? The good points, your good points, that you bring yourself back to life with them, following the advice given to us from our Rebbe Nachman is referring to, Adonenu Rabbeinu. It's not just Lubavitch, by the way. Adonenu Rabbeinu, it can also be Rebbe Nachman. Okay? It can be any Rebbe. Adonenu Rabbeinu. What advice? Bim'at hitbodedut u'tze'aka. With the little bit of talking to Hashem in your own words, if you're familiar with this teaching, or if you're not, I'll just explain it quickly. Rebbe Nachman was very, very strong on the advice of talking to Hashem in your own words. This is besides Shacharit, Mincha, Mariv, Tehillim, Birkat HaMazon, Birkat HaShachar. He says the greatest format of davening is in your own words. In fact, the Rambam, in his laws, and in his commentary on the Mishnayot, and Brachot, and also the laws of davening, the Rambam says just clearly that from the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, from even Avram Avinu, until the time of the Holy Assembly, Anshe Knesset HaGdolah, all Jews did hitbodedut. Every Jew, in his own words, talked to Hashem, making sure there were three things: Shevach HaMakom, praising Hashem; Bakashot, requests; and then Hoda'ah, giving thanks to Hashem. When the time of the Holy Assembly, which is one of the time, this is like before the Sanhedrin even, when this is like before the time of the Tanaim, when the rabbis, the Chachamim, the sages of the Holy Assembly saw that the Jewish people were becoming slacking in talking to Hashem in their own words, so they instituted a minimum Shmoneh Esrei, Amida, that every Jew, from the greatest tzaddik to the lowest person, has to do this prayer every day. Shacharit and Mincha correspond to the two sacrifices of the morning sacrifice and the afternoon sacrifice. Later on they added on Arvit. But every Jew, no matter what, has to say this fixed prayer so that they can get by the day with these three sections of praising Hashem, requests. They say the middle brachot of the Shmoneh Esrei contain all the requests that you'll need in your life, in your day. All those brachas, those middle brachas on refuah, on the years, on Geula, on Tzemach David, okay? All those blessings are what a person needs physically and spiritually to make through the day, okay? So Rebbe Nachman says, so does that mean that now comes to exempt us of the original format of prayer? What if now I want to talk to Hashem in my own words? Is it no, it's forbidden, you're not allowed to? because the Holy Assembly, as they established the Shmoneh Esrei, you're not allowed to talk to Hashem in your own words. No one says that. It's minimum because people weren't doing the ideal way of talking to Hashem, which is in your own words. So it doesn't mean though, if I'm doing the Shmoneh Esrei, so if I can, and I don't have to talk to Hashem in my words. He said, no, you can, you should add your own words. This was done for people who, because of exile, because of our situation, they don't know how to talk to Hashem, they don't feel God is listening to them, they don't feel worthy. So the rabbis established, minimum Shmoneh Esrei, Gamarnu, finished, okay? But you're allowed to talk to Hashem in your own words. What is this? And he says, Adrabah, just the opposite. The way to get closer to Hashem is to talk to Hashem in your own words. They have an expression in Breslov. When you talk to Hashem, the check's in the mail. You got that? When you talk to Hashem, the check's in the mail. I'm telling you, people don't get check in the mail. Everything's done like a bank transfer. It's okay. But the idea is that when you talk to Hashem, and it's sincere, like we say every day in Ashrei, Karov Hashem lechol kora'av, lechol Hashem yikra'uhu ve'emet. Hashem is close to all those who call out to Him. Which people call to Him? The verse continues, lechol Hashem yikra'uhu ve'emet. All those who call out to Hashem in truth. When is it in truth? When it's your words. When you're saying the words of the Holy Assembly, okay, so it's blah, blah, blah. You're trying your best to concentrate. You're trying to join your brain to the words in the Siddur. You're trying your best. But it's not coming from you. But now, Hitbodedut is your words in your language, your expression. That's the greatest. That's the pinnacle. Okay, people can't do that. People are not doing that. So the Anshe Knesset Agdol had to establish the Shmoneh Esrei. Okay. But now, if you can, and you should, talk to Hashem in your own words. So in addition, once the rabbis establish it, that's it. We can't erase it. Everybody's obligated. Even a person who could do super duper Hitbodedut, talk to Hashem for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. He can't say, so I'm exempt from the Shmoneh Esrei. No, the rabbis established. I do Shmoneh Esrei. But now I'm adding on my personal words because I know that this is what's going to get me moving in life more than anything else. So that's what he's saying in the letter here.
Can I ask a quick question?
Okay.
Yeah. Just to check. Praise, request, and thanks.
That's the order. The order of the Shmoneh Esrei is Shevach HaMakom, the first 3 blessings. Magen Avraham, right? Mechai Metim. Although the HaEzer Kadosh, those 3 blessings are Shevach. And then from Ata Chonen Ladam Da'at Umlamed Lenosh Bina, right? Bochat Hashem Chonen Adat. From that blessing until Shomea Tefillah are requests.
Yeah.
Personal requests, but set already by the rabbis of the Holy Assembly. Okay? By the way, in Shomea Tefillah, we'll have to add. If you have Rav Chaim Vital says, quoting the Arizal, that it's good to ask for Parnasah and the blessing of Shomea Tefillah. Also to do confession at that time. The bracha for refuah, you can add people's names even. Some people are scared to play with the Shmoneh Esrei, but you're allowed to according to halacha. Okay? And then from Modim until Mevachet Am Yisrael Shalom Amen is Hoda'ah. But really, Sim Shalom is really, it's another request. It's a finalization. Sim Shalom, okay?
When you're doing
Hitbodedut, it happens. See, Hitbodedut is coming from you. If you start looking at systematic, it's not you anymore. It's like I'm trying to make ends meet for my business job. No, I am here expressing what's in my heart. Hashem, let me just talk to you what I'm going through. If you expect me to be A, B, C, D, what's bothering me will never come out. Let me be free. Let me be open expression. Let it come out. This is Hitbodedut. Okay. The 3 is already said by Anshe Knesset Agdola. Now I can do my own shtick, my own gig. I can do my own stuff to talking to Hashem in my own words, however I want. I want to put a chapter of Tehillim. I want to do a verse. I want to say 100 times like a line, right? I don't know. You can do whatever you want in Hitbodedut. It's you talking now. The thing is, it's coming from your heart. That's the thing, and that's what matters here. So he's saying here again, bim'at hitbodedut, even a little bit of hitbodedut. Rebbe Nachman suggested he used the term an hour a day. And he says those people who are even stronger should do 2 hours. Okay? You hear that already, you say, oh, come on. An hour? To talk to Hashem in an hour? It doesn't happen. So they say sha'ah also in Hebrew means a moment. And also, start with whatever you can. If it's 1 minute a day, 2 minutes a day. Try to find time during the day. If it's walking to work, walking to school, going for a walk and talking to Hashem in your own words. If it's in a room, okay? You can find many ways how to do it. But Reb Noson is telling his son, I know you're not perfect. He said, even bim'at hitbodedut utza'aka. a little bit of secluded talking to Hashem and crying out about what you're going through. Okay, but watch, it doesn't end there. First he says though that you are doing this and that you mentioned in your letter that you're doing these two things of a little bit of hitbodedut and crying out to Hashem. Zot nechamati be'oni. Reb Noson says to his son, this is my consolation in my poverty. I accomplished something with you. I accomplished something with you, my son. Ze chelki mikol amali. This is my lot, my portion, and all of my toil and struggling that I got you to at least do this. I'm happy. I won the jackpot, Reb Noson is saying. Ma shekvar hichnasti bachem me'at amitat atzotav udvarav hakdoshim. That in which I succeeded already to ingrain you guys, it's him, Reb Noson, his son, and other Hasidim, other people who listen to Reb Noson, breslov Hasidim, with a little bit of the truth found in Rebbe Nachman's amazing holy advice and his holy words. Umi yiten shetekablu hakol. And if only, alvai, that you guys would accept and be able to internalize everything that Rebbe Nachman has to say and everything that I'm giving over to you guys. But already that you took a little, I already won the jackpot, even that. Everything else is bonus. V'tilchu b'chod rachav. Follow the pathways of Rebbe Nachman's teachings because they're lifesavers. It's a lifesaver. It's not, oh, he needs the honor, we're trying to spread his fame. It's teachings to help you, period. Okay? And he's saying, Reb Noson, go in his pathways, you'll see the benefit. Va'ikar, more than fulfilling the advice that you mentioned of hitbodedut and crying out to Hashem, ha'ikar lishmoa hitev bekol hitchaskuto. We said this last week, okay? But the main thing is to make sure you listen very carefully to his words of encouragement. Rebbe Nachman's powerful words of encouragement. Ma shemechazek umezarez umazhir biyoter viyoter lesameach et atzmeinu bechol et va'et yiyeh ech sheyeh. That which Rebbe Nachman strengthens and pushes a person to be zealous and is warning very, very much, each and every one of us, to bring joy to oneself every moment, every time, no matter how bad it is. Yiyeh ech sheyeh. No matter how bad it is. I just had a friend. I was traveling last week. We landed in Kishinev and we're driving to the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov's yard site was on Shavuot. So on the way to the Baal Shem Tov, I get a WhatsApp message from a guy in Toronto that he just lost his wife. You know, I'm on my way trying to be happy and everything, and I get this bad news. He just got married a year ago. He got married a year ago. She had a baby girl. After the baby girl, complications. Boom, 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 and she just passed away. Crazy story. So he's telling me this, and he's crying, and he called me even. But then he says, my treasure is this beautiful daughter, this girl. Isn't that amazing? What's the point? It hurts when you hear this. But he himself was able to already find an avenue of hope. And that is so important in life. No matter, it shouldn't hit any of us. But when Rabbi Tam says in his book, Sefer Yashar, everybody in life gets hit one place. Some people in the beginning of their life, in the middle, at the end. Maybe gets hit with something. Some people it's very serious. The main thing is how you receive it and that you're able, 7 up, to get back up and to be positive. The guy was so positive. I was amazed. I'm broken. When you're outside, when you hear bad news, you take it worse than the person themselves. I don't know if you notice this, but when you hear bad news, if something happened to somebody, that person has cancer or divorced or someone died, when you hear it, it hurts you much more than the person themselves. Why? Because you're outside of the situation, so when you see from outside, you see it full blast. But the person inside, Hashem send it to them because they can handle it, and they're handling it better than you. You hear the news, like the fundraising campaigns, they do good. They try to make you so broken, and you have to help this family, they have nothing in this. It's more serious than it actually is, but that's how they fundraise. That's how they're able to help the families. That's how it works, right? So this is how it is always, that the person outside sees it much more severe than the person who's going through the situation. They're able to handle it. I had a neighbor, Mrs. Fleischer, Aleh Shalom. She was a Holocaust survivor. She wrote a book. The book was called Two from a Family. How her and her sister survived the entire Holocaust together by miracle. Okay, and she says at the end, they made them a death march, or sorry, they took them by train to Bergen-Belsen. And in Bergen-Belsen, that was the worst. That was a death camp. That was like starvation. That's where they actually let people without food and let them die. So she said that the day that they were, rescued by I think it was the British Army, and whoever else, the Canadian Army and the Americans, she said they saw them and the soldiers started to cry. They saw these people like walking skeletons, and the soldiers were crying because they couldn't believe the situation. But she said, but we were used to it already. She said about her, we were used to seeing each other like bones and skin. Her wording was unbelievable. We were used to seeing it already, so it didn't bother us. Unbelievable. That's how it is in life. The person going through a difficulty, it's less painful than the people outside. The people, the family members and friends, they're plutzing because it hurts so much. But the person themselves, they don't feel as bad, okay? It's a rule. It's something that happens. We take things much more severe than they actually are. And Hashem sends a person, though, koach, to stand up. So going back to this guy from last week, I was just amazed how he just quickly shifted from the pain. Some people, they would be stuck in their agony and be stuck, and my life is finished. My life is over now. I have nothing. I have no wife. No. He didn't say that. He said, Baruch Hashem, I have this precious daughter, and she makes me so happy, and boom. So just amazing how a person, he gets a patch, but is able to find the good point to use to get back up. That's unbelievable. It's a gift. Not everybody can do that. But that's what he's saying here. This is, if a person works on this positive attitude, so when chas v'shalom something happens, by instinct, by reflex, a person goes to being positive. Even if they fall a little, they make a lot of noise, they cry a little, but they know how to get back up. They won't stay there. Other people will stay down. Other people, I met many people in life, they give up. You see these bums and things with the junkies on the street, whatever, downtown New York, I don't know, whatever. You wonder, these people, they were always like that. They weren't always like that. They had a test and they gave up. And that's why they're choosing to be the way they are on the street, homeless and everything. They chose to be like that. It's not, poor guy, he was like abandoned. He made the decisions in life of giving up, which led him to be in a situation which seems awful. Okay, he may be happy there, but it's not right and not correct. The person to be homeless on the street, and it's of his own doing, eventually. Right? She agrees. Okay. So going back. The main thing, I said this already, right? מה שמחזק ומזרז ומזהיר ביותר ויותר לשמח את עצמנו בכל עת ועת יהיה איך שיהיה. Okay? That a person should bring joy to oneself, every time. כל עת ועת. This word et, ayin tav, Kohelet says, to everything turn. There's a time to play, a time to sing. It's a song. Okay, there's 24 times, 12 good and 12 bad. Reb Noson's wording is amazing. B'chol et va'et. Any of the times, the 24 times, whether 12 good, 12 bad, a person has to mechazik himself to be happy no matter what hits him. Yeh ech sheyeh. Again, it's easier said than done, but when you train yourself on being b'simcha, and always being b'simcha, so it's much easier to turn to simcha when actually chas shalom hit with a very traumatic, difficult situation in life. So now this is the bomb now. This is the bombshell, and I hope you guys are ready to hear this. This is why I got to this letter. This statements like this. Ubaruch Hashem, and thank God, yesh lanu bameh lismoach. We have what to be happy about. Al shezachinu leda me'or kazeh or ha'orot. That we merited to know of such a light, the light of lights. He is referring to Rebbe Nachman and his light. Rebbe Nachman's teachings, I don't know if you guys have been exposed to Rebbe Nachman's teachings, but anybody with a sincere heart who learns his teachings are filled with light. It's like a live wire. Even though these books are written over 200 years ago, when you read them, you feel they're talking, number one, directly to you. And number two, they give you energy to really wake up and try to serve Hashem. Even if you've fallen so many times in life, even if you're just apathetic and detached and your emunah is just down and you're saying brachas like this and you feel out of it and you feel disconnected, right? And you feel the heat. The heat is like the heat wave of summer. Summer is really crazy. Why do they make summer vacation? Because everybody's out of it. Everyone's brain is fried. It's so hot. You can't think. You can't learn. It's normal, right? So you feel out of it. and it gets slackening in avodat Hashem. You're not doing halacha properly. You know about it and everything. You know the things that are bothering you. Okay. Nonetheless, Rebbe Nachman's teachings have this power for anybody who's sincere. That when you learn them, you feel, wow, this is waking me up. This is waking me up big time. He's talking directly to me. How could it be someone who lived 200 years ago and he doesn't even know me, and yet his words relate directly to what I'm going through? I can't understand this. So is this Ruach HaKodesh? What is this? That's what Reb Noson is saying now. He's saying after everything he said until now, right? Ubaruch Hashem, right? Thank God, we have what to be happy about. That we were zocher, we had the merit amongst the millions of Jews in the world who have yet to discover Rebbe Nachman's teachings, whether it's because of pure ignorance or whether because of opposition. Breslovers, those guys jumping on the vans, when did they know and everything, right? So it causes people a halt. This is, you see a Breslov book. Oh, thank you very much. It's okay, it's not for me. Thank you very much. Right? Most people have that thing, which is unfortunate, because if they were to open these books, it would change their lives. But Yetzirah does everything, even in the format of a rabbi with a big beard and everything, to make a person not come close to this. So because of that, Reb Noson says, if you have already merited to taste this light, he says, Baruch Hashem, yesh lanu b'ameh lismoach. We have what to be happy about. Reb Noson, by the way, he didn't come from like a nobody family. Reb Noson came from a very high prodigy, a very big yichus, a wealthy family. He himself was a big Talmid Chacham. He was the son-in-law of one of the biggest rabbis of the time, of David Tzvi Orbach, who was one of the leading poskim at that time in the generation in the Ukraine. He's buried on the village called Mogilov, on the border between Moldova and Ukraine. We passed there now, Baruch Hashem. I didn't get to see his grave, but we passed the city. And he was chosen as the son-in-law of this big rabbi, this big posek. So Reb Noson had Judaism. He had everything. He had money. He had yichus. He had Torah, but he felt empty. He felt something was missing in his life. He didn't feel the dveikut when davening. He saw the old Hasidim, surviving students of Rav Zusha Vanipoli, Rav Elimelech of Lezhensk, of the Chozeh of Lublin, of the Magid. He saw how they were davening and they were so connected. He was jealous. He said, I have everything. I have money, I have yichus, I have Torah, and I don't have this connection. What in the world is going on? What's missing? What is missing? What was missing? The idea of the tzaddikim, of having a living tzaddik as an example of someone who's connected to Hashem. Not just a Talmid Chacham, but a tzaddik who's connected and makes you feel that connection. That's what pushed Reb Noson to drop everything, face major opposition from his family, from his wife, from his parents, from his father-in-law. You became a chassid? Because he wasn't chassidic, they were misnagdim. They were Litvish guys. You became a chassid? He said, yes, because I'm looking for something which is missing. I feel empty. I don't feel that connection. Something is wrong. It's not my fault. That's what pushed him to Chassidut. He came to the Berdichev, Rabbi Yitzchak Berdichev, and other tzaddikim, until he finally came to Rebbe Nachman, and he said he found the address. He found his address. So he's saying here, Reb Noson, Baruch Hashem, we have what to be happy about, that we merited to know of such a light. And he calls him Or HaOrot. This is such a high statement, it's scary. The light of lights. Then Reb Noson starts quoting a Zohar. The Zohar is found in Parshat Noach, page 65a. This is one of the deepest paragraphs in the entire Zohar. They say even higher than parts of the Zohar which are considered the Spitz. If you've heard this term, Idra Rabba, Idra Zuta, these are main sections of the Zohar. On Shavuot and Parshat Naso, there's one of the longest big chunk pieces of the Zohar called the Idra Rabba. It's considered one of the high levels. And yet this Zohar from Parshat Noach 65a is even deeper than this long Idra Rabba, okay? And Rebbe Nachman, in lesson 24, he shows the deeper meaning hidden in this Zohar, how it's all related to doing mitzvot b'simcha. What Rebbe Nachman does in his book Likutey Moharan, he takes very far teachings of the Kabbalah of the Zohar, and then he shows how a Jew on a practical level, every Jew can do it, can connect to it. That's crazy. To take something which like you think, it's only for the tzaddik, I can't understand what it's saying. So Rebbe Nachman says, watch, I'll take it, I'm going to show it to you, how it relates to you in your daily living. What? Me? For all the upside down things, Dunkin' Donuts, Ben and Jerry's, all my things I'm going through, that I can connect to this level? Yes. Me, but I'm not like a tzaddik. I'm not a tzaddikis. My parents aren't like the Baal Shem Tov or someone like that. I'm a regular guy. I go through, blue jeans and movies and stuff. What do you want from me? Yes, even you. That's crazy. Me, but I'm not worthy. Your good though is so powerful that it's worthy of connecting to the highest levels. Yes, crazy. Unbelievable. So he now, Reb Noson, is taking a piece from the Zohar that Rebbe Nachman quotes in this lesson 24. What Rebbe Nachman says in lesson 24 is that there is a light which is above. It's a very high statement. Watch this. I'm just re-quoting the Zohar. Translation, just to get the idea. The Zohar says, the Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says in the Zohar, there is a light which is above the nefesh, the ruach, and the neshama. Nefesh, ruach, neshama are three levels of a soul that every Jew has. The nefesh, they say, is in the blood. The ruach is in the air, inside your body. And the neshama is the brain. And these are levels of connection to God that every Jew experiences. Goyim also have a nefesh, animals have a nefesh, but we have also a ruach and a neshama as a yid. Okay, this enables our connection to the spiritual, to the divine, to Hashem and everything. We need all three. There's stages. There are times of your day that your nefesh is active. It's like, for example, physical movement. The ruach is more getting involved in the emotions, the heart. That's why the air pumps in the blood and everything is connected to the heart. And then when you have a spiritual arousal which involves a perception of godliness, that's the neshama. Okay? And in the day of a Jew, in his daily 24 hours, he's expected to have the connection of all three. Some people, bekoshi, with difficulty, it's only the nefesh, and they never touch their ruach and the neshama. It's a shame. Jews who are not aware of their Yiddishkeit, they never even connected to the neshama. It's chaval. But we have access, and we are allowed access to all three levels. Rebbe Nachman says in the Zohar, there is a light which is above even the nefesh, and the ruach, and the neshama. What is this light? This is the infinite light, Or Ein Sof. Interesting. Or is Aleph, Vav, Resh. Aleph, Vav, Resh is Gematria. Aleph is 1, Vav is 6, that's 7, Resh 207. That's exactly the Gematria of Ein Sof, the infinite one. We call Hashem Ein Sof because he's infinite. There's no end to Hashem. He's called the infinite one, and the light is called the light of the infinite one, which means this light in this world in itself is complete darkness. When you have a light in this world, if it's the physical light, and especially when you have a spiritual light shining into you, could be like at a Shlomo Katz concert or Shlomo Karlebach. I don't know. People have a Meron Lag Bomer where all of a sudden you hear Nigun and you start disappearing. Oh my God, I'm connecting, whatever. Okay, that's light. Okay, where's it coming from? Any light experience in this world. Also, a person who has an aspiration for work. A person makes a decision, I want to go to college, university, and has an aspiration. He has a light shining into him to give him a goal and pushing him towards that goal. Any light coming in the world comes from the infinite one, from Hashem. This world in itself is called Olam, Ayin, Vav, Lamed, Mem, which means a concealment. Ha'alama is a concealment, and this is the world. Okay? The world in itself is covered up. You don't see anything. When there's light shining in, if it's physical light and all the more so spiritual light, it's coming from HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ein Sof. Okay? So now there's levels. There's endless levels of this light, endless levels of connecting to this light. Now, this light, where is it coming from? So like again, the Zohar says it's coming from a place which is above the nefesh, above the ruach, and above the neshama. It's called the infinite light. And the Zohar goes on to say that it's the nature, Hashem ingrained in the nature of the human mind, l'mirdaf abatre. V'difat de machshava l'mirdaf abatre. Hashem ingrained in the nature of a human mind to run after this light, but nonetheless, it can't grasp it. So the human mind is built in a way, when it sees light, it starts running after it, even though it can't get it, but it feels, I'm running after it. The classic example is Har Sinai. Har Sinai, Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, Hagbel et Haham, I want you to make a fence around Har Sinai. Why? Because when the Jews will see this experience of Hashem revealing Himself on our Sinai, they're going to forget everything and they're going to run to it. So you have to put a wall around, preventing them from running to the light. Why? Because if they do run to it, they'll disintegrate, they'll melt. When a Jew, a person who's finite, tries to merge with this light which is infinite, finite, infinite, what happens is the finite disappears. So in order to maintain our existence, we have to have a wall, a breaker. Okay? So the Zohar says that nonetheless, it's the tendency of the mind to run after this light, but it can't grasp it. So you might ask, so if that's the case, why waste my time? If I can't grasp the light, why waste my time running after? It's like you're running after something. You remember Pac-Man and all. Like you're running after something and you can't get to it. It's running away from you. If that's the case, why waste my time? It's not a waste of time. This is the way how you advance. You try to run after something which is you can't connect to it. You can't grasp it. It's ungraspable. And yet this is how you fulfill yourself in life, because you're moving towards it and you can't grasp it. This is how Hashem fills you in with light. It's crazy. This is something in life which is unbelievable. You feel like you're running and running. You feel sometimes you're getting nowhere. Okay, a person starts a family in Parnasa and he's learning the Kollel, and the person feels, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm going off running after what? What after what? Okay, I feel empty. The truth is you're not empty. This is how Hashem fills you up in life. You keep on moving, even though you feel you're getting nowhere, but the fact that you're moving forward, this is how Hashem fills you up. That's how it works in life. It's crazy. You think like these Talmidei Chachamim were learning Torah all day, and they can never finish the whole Torah. The whole Torah it doesn't end. It doesn't end. So if you're never going to finish the Torah, why spend time learning? Because every time I advance, even though I'm not getting to my goal, I feel like I'm never the goal. How it works, the learning Torah, by the way, how Judaism works is, it's megale tefach, mechase tfachayim. It's a rule that when one measurement is revealed, so now two new measurements that you didn't know about are now covered up, hidden. It's like you just opened up yourself to a new room. Oh my God, I thought I got everything, and then you see there's a door leading to a bigger room. You say, oh come on, it's not going to end. So what's the point? You advance though. You're always advancing. That's what Hashem wants of us. Hashem wants you to keep on going, keep on going. This is how you get to your mission in life. And the goal you're after, you're never going to get to it. Okay, fine. So what's happening to you? In the meantime, you're moving. You're not stuck. Because if this is not happening, the person's stuck in the pit. He's stuck in this world. He's not advancing. This, at least, a light that's greater than the person can perceive, is what pushes the person to keep on going out. Okay? So he says in that Zohar that this light, it cannot be grasped. But the only way a person can grasp it is in a format called mate vela mate. This is a famous term in the Zohar, in the Kabbalah, which means reaching and not reaching. It's like a person who's here and the item is over there and it's not next to him. It's not part of him. To touch it, he has to extend his arm to touch the item. But it's over here, I'm over here. So I've touched it, but I have not really touched it because it's not internalized. I've reached it, but I haven't actually reached it. It's not part of me. So this concept called mate velo mate is how Hashem gets people to keep on going in life. Hashem sends you a little bit of light, and then He takes it away, and then you're expected now to run after it. It's like it says in Shir Shirim, Moshcheni acharecha narutza. The beloved says to Hashem, Moshcheni, draw me to you, and I'll start running after you. The idea is that how Hashem works with people, especially Baal Tshuvas, etc., is Hashem shines in this big light. That's it. I'm becoming from. I'm becoming kosher. That's it. I'm now committed. I'm going to Israel. I'm going to yeshiva. I'm going to seminar. That's it. I'm now in. So Hashem says, okay, I brought you. Now take away the light. What do you do that for? Because now you have to get to work. The light was there just to pull you out. Now get to work. And if you succeed in working more, they will expose you to even a greater light, B'ezrat Hashem. And that's how it works. There's a greater light, a greater light. How it works though is there's like a flash, and it's again reaching and not reaching. Like you saw it, and it's taken away. It's what I do now. I just sink back. Most people, unfortunately, these people, for example, who like going on drugs, they're looking for the high, and then they crash. No, Judaism is there's a high, it's taken away. And I'll continue now. I'll continue going, and B'ezrat Hashem, I know it exists. I know there's light out there. I know there's something worth living for. So if I prove myself enough that I'm holding on even with no light, they shine it again, and that pushes me forward. So Rebbe Nachman teaches on the Zohar, the only way for this to happen to a person is if they do mitzvot b'simcha. This week's parsha, it's unbelievable. I have to go off a little because the Parshat Naso is the longest parsha of the Torah. Okay, it's very long. The beginning part of the parsha spoke about the work of the three sections of the Levim, the work of Kehat, the work of Gershon, the work of Merari, and then the census of Kehat, Gershon, Merari. And then when the parsha finishes, the whole story, the whole census, and the whole avodah of the Levim, the Levites, it says Zot avodat avodah v'avodat masa. Two things. This is the work of the work, funny statement, and the work of schlepping, masa, of carrying, because what did the Levites do? They had to carry the parts of the tabernacle. Kehat had the Aron, the menorah, the lechem hapanim, the mizbeach, all the holy parts were by Kehat. The drapes, okay, the metal things connecting the drapes, that was for Gershon. Merari was the heavy load of carrying the beams of wood coated with gold, etc., and copper and silver. That was in Merari. So you have avodat masa. So Rashi explains, what's avodat avodah? This is the work of the work. What's the work of the work? So Rashi says, the work of the Levites to sing and play music for the work of the Kohanim. When the Kohanim were doing the sacrifices, okay, and then the Beit HaMikdash and the Mishkan, so the Levim were there to play music. What's the purpose of the music? To make a happy attitude. The attitude in the Beit HaMikdash wasn't, oh no, I'm being forgiven, and oh my God, please forgive me. It wasn't out of fear. It was out of simcha. The attitude in the Beit HaMikdash and Mishkan was simcha. The Zohar says that a Kohen who woke up in the morning and came to work and he's like, Oscar the Grouch, he's very sad, they say, go back home. You're not working today. If a Kohen came to the Beit HaMikdash sad, they say, go back home. You're not allowed to work in the Beit HaMikdash today. If he was sad, no happiness, you're not allowed to work. Had to be besimcha. They were working fast, the Kohanim, and they were happy. They weren't like, nervous. Okay, come on. They weren't nervous. They were doing things swiftly with simcha. What was helping them to do that? The music of the Levim. The Levim were playing music, good music and everything, and it got them into the beat. I don't know what type of music they had, trance music, I know, but they had good music. Good music that got the Kohanim in a good beat. Okay, let's go, come on. And they're happy to do their job. Okay? So it's called avodat avodah. So now, Rabbeinu Bachye on the Torah, very long. He proves from here that this applies to every single mitzvah. The Torah calls the work of the Levim to play music a mitzvah. The word avodah in the Torah is avodat Hashem, which is a mitzvah, serving Hashem. So the Torah calls the music being played a mitzvah for another mitzvah, which is what? The sacrifices offered by the Kohanim. So he says that because the Torah left it general, Zot avodat avodah, and the Torah doesn't say this is the avodah of singing of the Levim for the avodah of the sacrifices. It didn't say like that. It said in general, this is the service of the service, and Rashi has to come to tell me, to explain to me what that means. So Rabbeinu Bachye proves from this that this applies to every single mitzvah of the Torah. Meaning what? You can have a guy, for example, he gets up in the morning and he puts on his tefillin and he's very heavy. Another day of tefillin he gets on and he's very heavy. So what does he get? One mitzvah for putting on tefillin. If the same guy puts on the tefillin with simcha, oh thank you Hashem, I have my tefillin, he's putting them on, so he gets a second mitzvah. It's a hidden mitzvah in every mitzvah. You get a mitzvah for doing the mitzvah. You fasted on Yom Kippur, okay. You fasted on Yom Kippur with simcha, you get a second mitzvah now. It's like a double. And the second mitzvah is like 10 times, 1,000 times, as one sefer says, and I forgot the name of the book, it's called Shomrei Munim, I think. Shomrei Munim, he writes, when you do a mitzvah b'simcha, so the mitzvah advances 10,000 times more. 10,000 times more. You can now do tzedakah, light candles for Shabbos. Okay, did it, fine. You do it b'simcha, 10,000 times up. That's it. Unbelievable, okay? So this is the idea of what the simcha does. So going back, Rebbe Nachman explains this Zohar, that when a Jew does mitzvah b'simcha, he reaches mateh velo mateh, the reaching and not reaching of the infinite light. It continues. Even when the light is taken away, and he gets pushed back, he's not broken because he's working on being b'simcha. My thing is simcha, my thing is simcha, my thing is simcha. This is the key for perceiving the infinite light. Hashem does it, it happens automatically. My job is to be besimcha, do mitzvah besimcha, and if I'm not besimcha, to work on building a happy attitude by telling jokes, by thinking of jokes, by singing a niggin, by finding my good points, by praising Hashem, giving thanks to Hashem. She's copying me, by the way, you notice, okay? By doing these things besimcha, then when I do a mitzvah and it's besimcha, it goes a long way. How far? For this light. To shine me this light again and again. We all get that initial light in our life. The problem is the follow-up. Most people, they don't have the follow-up. They fall and they say, Hashem doesn't want me. I gave Judaism a chance. I gave my Yiddishkeit a chance, and it's just not working out. So I just rather be status quo like everybody else, Tisha B'Av mode, and just, continue with life. No. Be strong. Be more besimcha now afterwards, and you'll get higher. So now, what's unbelievable is this, again, I'm saying this as a breslov class, okay? I know this is not a general class. Okay, so excuse me. I'm hoping people who came to this class, they have an interest in Rebbe Nachman's teachings. So Reb Noson is equating Rebbe Nachman's light in his teachings, again, this is scary to say this, with the infinite light. He is taking the statement Rebbe Nachman brought from the Zohar, and Reb Noson is applying it on Rebbe Nachman's teachings. This is crazy. Again, look inside. He says like this, Baruch Hashem, יש לנו במה לשמוח על שזכינו לידע מאור כזה, אור האורות. Baruch Hashem, we have what to be happy about. You may think, what in the world is going on? Isn't this like Avodah Zarah? To equate the light of tzaddikim with God? Are you normal? Are you okay? The answer is yes, we're okay. We're normal. Just watch how it works, okay? It's all Hashem. It's all Hashem. But when tzaddikim become so merged with their teachings, with Hashem, we're only davening to Hashem. We're not davening chas v'shalom to any tzaddik. We're not worshiping a human being. But tzaddikim require our emunah in them for them to help shine Hashem's light into us. Yes. In other words, it's me and Hashem. But I can have some help along the way. I need a teacher. I need a guide. I need a tzaddik who's like a beacon of this light to shine into me so that I should begin to work on developing my own personal connection with Hashem. Yes, I need a tzaddik. We can't tell a person, okay, we're leaving you stranded on an island, here's all the books, and you figure it out on your own, and you try to connect to Hashem on your own. We don't do that. We don't just give books to a person and then, you need a light, you need an example. Hashem, if he wanted to, he could have taken the Jews out of Egypt by himself. No. He chose, one of the arguments of Moshe Rabbeinu to Hashem, why are you sending me? Send Aharon, send someone else. Go yourself. The Midrash says an opinion that Moshe told Hashem, go yourself, take the Jews out. What do you take me? They're so steeped in minus 49 of Tuma in Egypt. You take them out. I can't. Hashem said, no, I want Dafka you. Dafka you to be the means. What do you mean me? Because Hashem wants to train a chinuch in people that you need emunah in tzaddikim. Okay, there's emunah in Hashem, but you need emunah in tzaddikim. And if there's no emunah in tzaddikim, there's no emunah in Hashem. Where do we see that? From a verse we say every morning in Shachris. Vayaminu b'Hashem uv'Moshe avdo. The verse reads that after the splitting of the Red Sea, it says, and the Jews believed in Hashem and Moshe his servant. What's going on? The Midrash says on this. The Midrash, no Hasidish word. The Midrash says, Likutey Moharan, whoever believes in Moshe his servant automatically believes in Hashem. And whoever does not believe in Moshe his servant does not believe in Hashem. Because the whole way we know how to believe in Hashem is what the tzaddikim teach us. If we don't have the tzaddikim to teach us, we can't figure it out on our own. We need the transmission of the tzaddikim to show us how to believe in Hashem. When we say emunah and tzaddikim, what is it? It's in number one, I believe in their merit, that they have a zchut, that I can daven in their merit to help, that Hashem can help me. That Hashem help me in their merit. Number two, I believe that their prayers can help me, so I ask the tzaddikim to daven for me, like the classic example of Kalev ben Yefune, who went to Hebron, right, Parshat Shlach, and he asked Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov at the kever, please daven for me, that I shouldn't fall under the bad advice of the spies. I shouldn't fall into the trap of the spies. So to believe in their prayers, to believe in their merit, okay, and that's basically it, to believe in their teachings, that this is the real deal, this is how I connect to Hashem. So if that's the case, the tzaddikim would have to offer, the greater the tzaddikim, the higher of a level that they can shine light into you. So if Noson is saying about Rebbe Nachman's teachings, because of this unique power they have, then anybody who sincerely learns them, they feel he's talking directly to them. and they're out. They do talk to you, and they give you practical advice how to deal with life situations, and then you're grateful to Rebbe Nachman for being a lifesaver to help you in the most darkest times of life, and you become committed or whatever to his teachings. You commit to wanting to fulfill his advice because you see that it worked. Okay, so he's saying again, Baruch Hashem, yesh lanu b'ameh lismoach al shezachinu leda me'or kazeh or ha'orot, or tzach u'metzuchtzach. Oh, or tzach u'metzuchtzach. I know we're over time, but we have to finish this paragraph. We're stuck on the same paragraph already for 2 weeks. So it's like this, that this light is tzach. Tzach means a very clean, there's no good English translation of the word tzach, very refined and clean light. So tzach, or metzuchtzach. Metzuchtzach in the Kabbalah is what's called the Or HaTzachtzachot. This is a bit deep. I'll try to be very quick. The world functions on the number 10. We see number 10. We saw in Pirkei Avot, chapter 6, that it said the number 10 appears a few times. The world was created with 10 utterances. Basara mamarot nivra olam. The world was created with 10 utterances. Okay, that's in the first chapter of Genesis, Parshat Bereshit. Then it says, and the Lord said, let there be light. And the Lord said, let the grass split. And the Lord said, let the fish. And okay, when it says Vayomer Elokim, you count them. There's 9 utterances that Hashem said, let there be, let there be, let there be. And there's a hidden one. It's called the hidden utterance, which is the first word of the Torah, Bereshit. It's called the hidden. There's no mention of creation, but there is something there, but it's hidden. These 10 are reflected afterwards in the 10 commandments. Okay, the 10 generations between Adam and Noach, Abraham, the 10 plagues in Egypt, the 10 commandments, the 10 levels of Kedusha in Eretz Yisrael, and there's more. There's also what's called in the Kabbalah the 10 Sfirot. That when Hashem created the world, He used 10 levels of energy. Keter, Chochma, Bina, Da'at, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, Malchut. It's Kabbalah, fine. These are 10 levels of energy that Hashem uses to create the world. Now there is what's above this 10. And it's called Or HaTzachtzachot. The light which is so refined that it's merged with the infinite light. Okay, that's what he's saying here. Look what Reb Noson is saying. He's saying Or Tzach u'Metzuchtzach, Rebbe Nachman's teachings. We're zoche to know of the light, such a light, the light of lights, a light which emanates from Tzach u'Metzuchtzach. I know this is very deep, but this is part of the class. I have to read it. Okay, I'm sorry. It's like very deep for people. What in the world? But it's part of it. We have to mention it. Or Tzach u'Metzuchtzach, and now he's quoting the Zohar on what the Zohar said on 65a Noach on the infinite light. De la yediyah, which is not known, velo it yada, and doesn't make itself known, vela it man de kaima ben, is the one who can stand in the presence of this light, etc. So he's saying this is applying to the light emanating from Rebbe Nachman's teachings, which is why they're so powerful. Rebbe Nachman once said about his teachings, the difference between what I am revealing and what Mashiach will come to reveal is exactly the same. Mashiach will come to reveal exactly what I've revealed already and how to drop more. So what's the difference? The difference is people don't listen to. But Mashiach, no one listens to, they get hit on the head immediately. Now you have to listen. When Mashiach will come, he will reveal the teachings and you will, out of obligation, have to do these teachings. That's it. Mashiach's here, it's over. There's no more free will at that level. But he said by him, there's still free level. But what he revealed already is this Torah of Mashiach. Again, anyone with clear, honest, sincere view, perspective, when learning Rebbe Nachman's teachings, we'll see that. Okay? Fortunate is the person who takes refuge in his shade. In other words, that you have such a tzaddik that you rely upon. So you're not alone. In other words, in your struggles, that you feel, Hashem has abandoned me. I'm off the path. There's no one who can relate to me. There's no tzaddikim who can talk to me. There's no one who can get to me and lift me up. Fortunate is the person who takes refuge in his covering. You have a tzaddik there who's always out there for you. Like we say in Breslov, his cards don't run out. You say, but I'm going through A, B, C, D. Okay, try this. I tried this, doesn't work. Okay, try this. I tried this. There's always what to do for your life scenarios. It doesn't. His cards don't end. He has so many advices. Plus, you're always changing. Like this, there was a breakthrough here, but I'm still going through this. And then this happened and that happened. So because of the changes, so now the advice can change also. Let's finish this up. Ashrei choseh betzilo. Ashrei habal tzion hakadosh shelo. Fortunate is the person who has the merit of going to Rebbe Nachman's kever. Rebbe Nachman made a very big promise that no other tzaddik in the world, that at least we know of, made a promise. He made a promise like this: that anybody comes to his grave, gives a coin to charity in his memory, recites the 10 chapters of Tehillim called the Tikkun HaKlali. You're familiar with the Tikkun HaKlali? I assume you heard it before? No way. Oh my God. Okay, you have work to do. Tikkun HaKlali are 10 specific chapters that he said when recited in this order, they can rectify damage of even the worst sins. Okay? He said that for sexual transgressions. And then he said another statement before he passed away, that anybody who comes to his grave and says these 10 chapters there, you can say them any day. I say them every day at home, here in Yerushalayim, anywhere in the world you can say them. But there's an extra power and benefit of saying these 10 chapters by his kever. He said he made an oath in front of two witnesses, Rav Aharon Goldstein, the Rav of Breslov, and Rav Naftali, I forgot his Naftali Weinberg from the city of Breslov also. He swore in front of them, he made an oath, a vow. Anybody who comes to his grave gives a coin to charity, 5 cents, anything, a shekel, whatever, in his memory, Rebbe Nachman's memory, and then says the 10 chapters, and the person takes upon himself not to go back to his bad ways. Rebbe Nachman promises to pull that person out of Gehenna, no matter what they may have done in life. The worst transgressions and blemishes where everybody else gave up on them, he said, anyone who comes to my kever and does that will be saved from Gehenna. So you might think, so a person can say, I'll do bad and do bad and do bad, and I'll go to Uman and that. It doesn't happen. Like Pirkei Avot says, the person who says, I'll sin and then do tshuva, I'll sin and then do tshuva, what does Pirkei Avot say? En maspikin bi'ado lashuv. They don't give a person the opportunity to do tshuva. Person thinks, I'll do what I want to do, and then after the tshuva, the Gemara says, no, they won't let you do the tshuva. So too, someone who's insincere, and then he thinks he goes to Uman and then it won't happen, it won't work. He'll miss his flight, this, that, he'll try to go, it won't happen. If you make it, it's a big thing. So that's what Reb Noson is saying here. Ashrei choseh betzilo, ashrei habal tzion hakadosh shelo, mekayem dvarav, lomar 10 kapitlich Tehillim. Fortunate is the person who comes to his grave and fulfills his words to recite there the 10 chapters of Tehillim known as the Tikkun HaKlali. If you want to know what they are, I'll tell you off by heart. It's 16, 32, 41, 42, 59, 77, 90, 105, 137, 150. I know you didn't write down. Okay, it's recorded at least. And when said in that order, it's also available in a booklet. I think I have. If I have one, you probably have one. You have one. Okay. And said in that order, it's like they're saying Tehillim. There's an inyan to say Tehillim. The whole chapter, the whole book of Tehillim. That's one thing for tshuva. But now to rectify damage, these 10 said in this specific order have a very powerful power to do that. And especially,
every day you say it, or?
You don't have to every day, but it's stupid not to, because it's a gold mine. You have a gold mine every day to tap into this world of tikkun, the rectification of what I may have done from yesterday till today. So it's such a gold. Like you put in front of you a whole stash of gold. You're not going to take it. Of course you're going to take it. Say no, I have other things to do. Well, you have a gold in front of you. Okay, there's Mishnah, Halacha, there's my davening seder, there's this, that, there's doing mitzvah to go visit the elderly, to go do chesed, but this is gold. It's chaval to lose out on it. It's a big, major amount of gold, okay? And he, Rebbe Nachman, will definitely do his part of his deal, what he swore upon, to fulfill his promise, etc., to pull people out of Gehenna. We'll stop here. This was very intense. I didn't expect new people to Breslov to come to the class because there's normally people who are interested in Breslov already. So because of there's the very harsh words. But if you consider continuing learning Rebbe Nachman's teachings, seeing how they're life changing, you'll eventually come to agree to what Reb Noson has said over here. Okay, we'll stop here and be continued in the next class. And I was asked to ask if there's any Q&A, and also people ask the people here also Q&A. Okay, as usual, there's no Q&A because all the questions are answered normally. Or people have private questions. Okay, all the best. You can PM me always or WhatsApp, whatever. Thank you for joining, and Bezat Hashem to be continued next week, Bezat Hashem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hashem.
Last week.